Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This year, Santa was really good to the Garza gang, namely the wife. We got all kinds of goodies. It's the day after Christmas. We've been in a really bad cold spell, so this is probably the warmest it's been in a week. Finally made it out of the house and figured we'd start getting going on this CanAm and get into the fun stuff. Let's see. What do we got? Santa brought her a SuperATV bumper with the winch mount built in, a rough country winch, and a SuperATV shock tower brace, which was highly recommended by a couple people on the channel and just watching other channels and forums, that kind of thing. And you know, to be honest, after I saw some videos tearing apart that front end, I really felt like, yeah, I need that, because there's a whole lot of work getting put into that shock tower. So the brace kind of goes here and just stiffens that up. But anyway, that's the plan for today. We're going to see how far we can get. We're going to make install video, I figure, on this one, just because we're getting a little bit more technical. We're going to have to take that whole front end apart. It does not look like it's fun. I've watched a couple videos. It's going to take some time, but no biggie. We got the week off. We're going to make the most of it, try to get this thing ready. She did also get a glass windshield from Bent Metal Off-Road. Ordered, at least. It's not here yet. It's going to take a little bit to get in. I think they said it was a 3 or 4 week lead time. So I'm going to get the rest of this stuff done in the meantime. Once that windshield gets here, we'll slap that on and she'll really be ready to ride. Well, right now it's freezing. I don't like working in the cold. It is 21 degrees. We got us a little fire going, but it's going to take us a while to get warmed up. But honestly, I'm going to let it do its thing. Go inside, fart around for a little bit, let this fire warm it up. And then we'll be back out here to work on the CanAm. We'll be back, guys. Let's see how this goes. Alright, so I got it up to a respectable temperature in here. Took a little while, but no big deal. Got the fire blazing. Starting to warm up. So I think it's time to start tearing into the old girl. Spent the time waiting for it to warm up, watching a couple videos, and it's about this point that I'm like, holy crap, what did I get myself into? It looks like it's going to be quite a bit. I got to lift the machine up to relieve the pressure off the shock tower so I can unbolt that. And you know, like you guys know, this is our first CanAm, so literally I'm kind of learning everything as I go. It's completely different wiring wise than any of the other machines we have, like our Talon or our old Razor. Just to be able to get to the stuff, I'm going to have to take the seats out, the center console out. I got to do all that. And apparently there's like a distribution center or a fuse panel down there that I can tap into. And that's where I'm going to run my power for all of the winch and whatnot. But I think just to get going, we're going to focus on the bumper. And I'm going to try to get this thing tore apart, which looks like it's a little process in itself. The bumper, we went with the SuperATV. It is the CanAm Maverick X3 winch ready bumper. There is going to be your SuperATV part number right there. Hopefully that focused. If not, I'll drop a link down below. But I haven't even opened this thing. Literally, Santa just brought it for the wife yesterday, which was Christmas. So let's open it up and see what she looks like. I know, SuperATV. I know there's better options out there, but you can't beat SuperATV shipping. And honestly, I've had SuperATV on a lot of our stuff, and it's really never let me down. Is it the best? No, it's definitely not. But does it work? Yes, it does. So, just to start, what do we got? We got a hardware kit. And that looks fun. Looks like some sort of nylon spacer. More stuff here. Let's see if I can make some room for the main bumper itself. Let's get that piece out first. And there she is. There's the bumper. There's our winch mount. And another little nylon spacer. So I'm going to open all this bubble wrap stuff up, kind of get an idea what I'm looking at, and I'll get back to the video, show you. Alright, well that's everything you're going to get right here when you order your SuperATV winch ready bumper for your CanAm Maverick X3. You got the bumper itself, the winch plate, some clevises, and a couple other things that I don't know what they're there for yet. We'll find out though. So now comes the fun part. We get to start tearing this thing apart. I say that a little sarcastically. Looks like it's going to be kind of a pain, but whatever. We'll get it done. So that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm not going to bore you guys with that step by step. It's basically a bunch of screws. I might make some titles at the end, just kind of saying what all we had to take out. But I think what I'm going to do is just set up the GoPro and do a time lapse just so you can see it all kind of coming apart. But it does look like it's going to be quite a bit of work. I got to get this whole front fascia off. I got to get the seats out, the center console. I got to do all kinds of stuff, which is why we have yet to ride this thing. Bought it brand new, still haven't taken it out much, just a couple quick laps around the yard, and it's for this reason specifically. I didn't want to be wrenching on it when it was filthy. So let's get it done while it's clean. It'll never be this clean again, and then we'll get it filthy. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the GoPro on a time lapse, and we'll start tearing this apart and seeing what it's going to take to get this bumper on, and the winch, and the shock tower brace. Let's do it. Alright, so I knew this was really going to be a pain in the arse, but it's proven to be a little more much of a pain than I thought it would be. I got all these screws called out. Now here's the thing, if you watch different videos will call for different things. Some guys say to take the whole front fascia off. The SuperATV instructions say just take the front off. So I'm kind of trying to get by with the least amount of work as possible and not take everything off. I'm looking at this like I should be able to take just this front clip off, and that should give me access to everything. This is already loose. I know I gotta, undo the radiator mounting bolts. So if once I get that off, I can do that without taking everything off. And the only reason I'm really trying to avoid taking everything off is I already have the Kamimoto fender flares on, so I don't want to take that off if I don't have to. But a lot of times when I start trying to do this, I end up trying to take too many shortcuts and causing myself more work. So, I don't know. I'm going to go about this and see. It seems like there's two little T30 bolts down in here that I just can't get an extension on. And as you can see, I already put a couple dents in the radiator. I'm trying to avoid that. So I'm just trying to see how I can get that front clip off without taking everything. We decided to take everything off. I just felt like it'd be easier. I'm going to get into it all anyway and try to do that shock tower brace. I might as well get as much off as possible. So because I went that route, I probably ended up taking out a couple of screws and nuts and bolts that I didn't have to, but whatever. It was kind of a pain. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't hard at all. It was just tedious. But there you go. There's the front end of the CanAm Maverick X3 without the front fascia. So now I need to drill out these rivets on the bottom. Get that bottom plate off because that front bumper is going to replace all that. I need to basically take out all the mounting hardware for the radiator and strap that up. And that'll give me access to all of my mounting points for my bumper. And that's what we're going to do. Important thing to note is taking out the whole front fascia. Pay attention. You got these little... I'm not going to call them C-clips. I don't know what they are, but these little fasteners on the plastic. When you go to yank that top plastic, if you don't have your hand on it, it's just going to fall. So I dropped the first one. I'm going to have to find that. The other ones I was smart enough to be able to grab as I pulled it off. And that's it. I will say again, everyone knows I came from a Honda Talon. So far on the CanAm, I'm not that impressed. Pulling that apart, it was a lot of plastic BS. I just wasn't too impressed with the actual build quality. And even saying that, like looking at that front end, that really kind of gives you an idea. That whole CanAm front end is just plastic. There's nothing to protect it. If you don't put on an aftermarket bumper or some sort of protection, like literally you're just asking for problems. What you see right there is factory form minus the plastics. I don't know. I'd want a little bit more protecting my machine, but whatever. We'll see. So that's it. I'm going to see what it takes to get to the next step. So we're going to get that bottom drilled out. And we'll get that the radiator mounting points disconnected, and we'll see what it's going to take to actually slap in this bumper. We have now officially switched from Monsters to Miller Lite, so I expect progress will slow down a little bit, but whatever. Let's see what we can get done.
Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, well, I don't wanna jinx it, baby. Can't twist myself at the spine. Don't wanna overthink it, baby. It's just twist your body and mine. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry.
Alright, so there it is. SuperATV CanAm Maverick X3 DS winch ready bumper. Mocked up. Didn't get a time lapse because honestly I wasn't planning on doing it. But there it is. It's just kind of secured loosely. I still got to put those bolts in that way. Still got to finish everything up and make it nice and tight. But I don't know. So far I feel like it's a good little add-on. We'll finish up in the morning. We'll go from there and see how everything really buttons up and how the fit and finish is. But so far, that's what it is. It's definitely a little bit more of a time-consuming install, but I don't know. It is what it is. You want to have a Can-Am? That's how it is. So that's it, guys. I'm calling it a night. I'll drink me a couple beers, hang out in the garage. Got a nice little fire going. It's like 10 degrees outside, but it's 70 in here. So I'm going to hang out, drink some beers, and then call it a night, and we'll get back on this in the morning. Alright, we're back out in the garage. Same old story. It's cold. Trying to bring the temperature up. Where are we at? We're at 45. It was like 39 when I came out here. Anyway, it's morning time. A little more clear-headed. We're going to try to put the beer drinking off today till we get some stuff accomplished. We'll see how that goes. But we got a lot done yesterday. I got the whole front end tore apart and the bumper just kind of mocked up there. Last night after a couple beers, I'm sitting here thinking that I'm just going to use that stock hardware, and then looking over the SuperATV instructions. I'm an idiot. There's no reason to use the stock hardware. You need the longer hardware. That's why they sent it. So it's telling me to use right there the M12 by 100 if the frame stiffener's used. And up here, I know I saw something about the M12 by 90s, but whatever, we'll figure that out. So, go through the hardware kit. SuperATV does a good job of labeling everything, grouping everything together so you know exactly what you're getting. I'm going to open that up. I got the machine jacked up, got the weight off of those control arms, so I should be able to just slide those bolts out pretty easily and replace them with the new SuperATV hardware. So I'm going to do that, see if I can get this bumper actually put on. We'll try another time lapse with the GoPro. Still trying to get to know it, and I think I messed it up yesterday, but we'll see. We're going to try that. We'll get the bumper on, and then we'll see what this Rough Country winch is all about. This is the Rough Country 4500 UTV winch. Super affordable. $200. Can't beat the price. You got everything in there. So let's get to it. Let's put this bad boy on time lapse and try to knock it out.
Oh, but I don't wanna jinx it, baby. Let's not get ahead of my time. Oh, but I don't wanna miss you, baby. So I stand up and speak my mind. Oh.
Alright, so I'm jumping all over the place here, but as I was doing that bumper install, I realized since we had everything tore apart and the radiator all disconnected and everything, I was going to have to do that for the shock tower brace, so I figured I might as well throw that on before I continue with the winch. And there's a couple things I'm not too happy about it. I mean, honestly, it adds the structural integrity. You can see that. You see that main brace there. It actually goes all the way down. Bolts in with a couple bolts down there. But what I'm not happy about is you have to look at those coolant lines. That's obviously not where it's going to sit, and I could dress it up a little bit. But basically, these coolant lines ran in the middle and came down in the original. And SuperATV wants you to just kind of bend them out like this. Number one, it's more susceptible to damage. I like it being tucked up behind there. Number two, I just don't like the bends on it. I don't know. We're going to send it just because I do think that it is necessary with this design of the CanAm front end. But I'm not too happy with it, if that makes any sense. We'll see. So we got the shock tower brace on. I'm going to go ahead and tighten up all the hardware, try to remount that radiator, get that situated, so then finally we can move forward with this stupid bumper install that's taken me forever. And then after that, we just got to wire up the winch. So let's do that. Alright, so now comes the fun part. We got the shock tower brace on. I skipped through a lot of it. I didn't want to bore you guys with my lack of mechanical aptitude. I tend to struggle with things way more than other guys do, but no biggie. Anyway, shock tower brace is on, bumper's on. Now we mount the winch, and now we start getting into wiring, which is going to be time consuming. We got to route the wires up through the firewall. I got to mount a rocker switch in here, and I got to tie into the power that's underneath there. So that's what we're going to do. Spend the next couple hours probably getting that winch mounted up. Again, I'm not going to bore you guys with that. I just wanted to give a quick update to where we're at. We're going to get the winch mounted and start running wires. Let's do it. Alright, so for the most part, we got the front end put back together. We haven't even started on the wiring, but we got the bumper in. I still got to put the lower part of the bumper, but I had to put the front fascia all back together before I did that, which brings me to my next point, and the biggest thing I want to complain about with this thing. These things. They're really stupid. CanAm has these little mounting tabs underneath that basically these slide on right there. So I will say that I did figure out that I actually didn't even have to take those off, but that's what the instructions called for, so that's what I started to do before I ended up just ripping the whole front fascia apart. But these things literally are hot garbage. It's terrible. You take them off once or twice, and that mounting tab is such thin plastic that you have nothing to bite to. It's really pretty crappy. But other than that, I think everything came together pretty well. The shock tower brace turned out pretty good. I'm definitely happy with that. Looks kind of cool. I think we're going to come up with a little Garza Gang logo to cover where it says SuperATV. Another downfall to that is once I put the shock tower brace, that kind of pushed everything out. And where these side plastics lined up, it's not as seamless as it was before. But whatever. It's an off-road machine. I don't like that, though. I feel like that should fit better. But, whatever. Is what it is. Front end's put back together. That's about it for today. I'm probably going to take the day off tomorrow, and then Brandon's coming over on Thursday. He's going to work on Fabian's Ranger. He's got some tie rods to put on that thing, and that's probably when I'll get back to it. And that's when I'll tear apart the inside and actually get to the wiring. I still haven't even got to that. This was so much work. Again, I'm not a mechanic. It probably takes other people not as much time, but it took me a long time. I had to fart around with it. It was really kind of stupid. But whatever. I think fit and finish, the final product, I'm happy with it, and let's keep on going.